Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I brought a year of positive thinking with me, as well as the two Melody Beatty books. But I thought we would start with a year of positive thinking to get us into a positive mood for the day. This is my second video that I'm filming for the day. So I thought I'm going to start with the meditations today. This is usually one of the last videos of the day that I film. But today I thought, you know what, I'm going to start each day, I think, going forward, doing the meditation video and filming it first, because it'll kind of like put me in a good mood for the rest of the day after I've already done my prayers, my meditation, my gratitude list, things like that. So I do want to say this, that I've gotten a couple questions in the comment sections here and on my vlog about how I do a gratitude list. And you know, when I first got the question, I was like, okay, this is an appropriate question, right? But I was like, I don't know that I necessarily want to give like strict instructions. I think a gratitude list is something that should be very personal to you. I, through the years, have done many different kinds of gratitude lists. You know, when I first got sober, my sponsor at the time said to me, I want you to make a list of all of those things that you're grateful for that you'll lose if you continue to use. And then I want you to keep it in your pocket with you wherever you go. And I kept that gratitude list with me like always. I've heard other people do it and they put it on like note cards and keep it with themselves or put it in their wallet. I had mine just on a piece of paper and I wrote it down, and it had, you know, everything from my relationships to my parents, to my life at the time, to, you know, just being able to eat, having a place to live, on and on and on. So, you know, that was really important for me when I first got sober. Through the years, I've done different gratitude lists, you know. I think the most powerful that it's ever been are the periods where I've done daily gratitude lists written down and then I read them out loud. So that has been what I have found the most help from. You know, there was the 28 days that I did the gratitude list every single day with the Rhonda Byrne book, Magic, that I did last November. So I think if you're looking for a place to start for gratitude, maybe go back and watch some of those videos if you haven't seen those of mine from November where I talk about that. Though, especially at the beginning of November where I really talk about that book. Or I would just recommend doing the Rhonda Byrne Magic book for 28 days. It's a fantastic start to gratitude. But there was a period, I think like a year before that, or 2 years before that, where I did a gratitude list, like every single day almost for a year, and I still have it up there. One of the things that was important to me was that every single day that I wrote down what I was grateful for, I think at the time I would list like 10 or 15 things. It's always interesting to me when I'm talking to somebody and they're like, how many things do you have to put down? 10 or 15? I'm like, you can put down 2 or 3 things if that's what you want. But it's always interesting to me, and I think that this is a good estimate of kind of like where we're at in our lives, is if you find that difficult to do. You know, there have been times in my life where I was like, God, I don't know how many things I could put on a gratitude list. 10 would be hard to come up with, 5 maybe, you know? And I think it really showed where I was at that point in my life, that I wasn't very grateful for what I had, and I was sitting in selfishness and self-centeredness, which is not where I want to sit, right? And so, you know, now I could sit down, and because I've been practicing gratitude for so long, I literally could just sit down for an hour and just keep on writing things, from the flowers to the birds to my house, to my husband, to my life, to my sobriety, to my cousin, to my mother-in-law, to my brother and sister-in-law, to my nephews, you know, to on and on and on, to this friend, to that friend, to these experiences, on and on and on, you know. I feel so much gratitude for everything that I have been given in my life. You know, it's just like, it's like the book that Oprah talks about that I've never read and I need to read it. It's called Simple Abundance. It really is about that. It's about feeling that your life is overfilled with this abundance of gratitude, you know? So what I would recommend is just sitting down and starting to write things that you're thankful for, you're grateful for. What really helped me, and I didn't love this part of it, I'll tell you, but it really helped me in the long run, because as I was writing the sentence, you know, one of the things when we're in sobriety or recovery and we work a 12-step program, we do a 4-step inventory. I just talked on here about how I just did a huge inventory that I hadn't done one in like 25 years like this. And my sponsor and I, we went over it and we did I did my 5th step in 2 9-hour parts, because I had so much stuff on there, right? From resentments to, you know, fears, conduct, things like that, that I went over with my sponsor, and I feel so fantastic having gotten all that out, right? But there's something about writing it down, okay? It's one thing to know it, and my sponsor is really big on writing stuff down. She's like, we can talk about it if you want, but you need to write it down and see it on paper. There's something about the action of writing something out and then speaking it that is, I don't know, it brings something to life in a way that we look at it in a way that we wouldn't have looked at it before, right? And so, I don't remember which book it was. I think it was the Magic Book recommended that when you write down your gratitude list, you say things like, I am truly grateful for, or I am very thankful, or I am very grateful or very thankful for this, right? And you put that down, and then when you go back, after you finish your list, you read it out loud. The reading it out loud, to me, was really, really powerful to go back over and see the things I've written. The other thing is, I try to, on a daily basis, go in and look at the things that I was really grateful for that day, and not just have repeats, because it would be very easy to sit down and do a list of 10 things that you're grateful for every single day, and those things, like for me, being my life, my sobriety, my relationship with my higher power, my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my dad and my stepmom, my relationship with my cousin Caroline, my relationship with my in-laws, my relationship with my best friend, my house, my car. That would be real easy, okay? But to do it every single day and to look at those specific things that you're really grateful for each and every day. Like today, I'm grateful for warmer weather, okay? And it doesn't have to be big stuff. It can be smaller stuff. I have a friend of mine that says this thing that she says, where are your feet? Look down and see you're in today, right? And that's a good reminder. Gratitude keeps us in today as well. It keeps us in being focused in what are you grateful for today? And so for me, gratitude is just this action that continues to just make me so happy in my life. Gratitude in the last couple years has on a level that I never understood it, has forever changed my life. Now, we're already into June, and I've got a lot of things in June going on with my husband's birthday and my birthday and stuff like that. So I don't think I'm going to do it in June, but in July, I really do think that I'm going to do the Melody Beatty 40 Days of Gratitude book, because I've been talking so much about books. I've been talking so much about gratitude. My mother-in-law really wants to do that book, so I'll order her one, and then we can do it over here on this channel. And for those of you that want to read it, we can read it. I already have a copy of it, so and I've started it before, and the introduction to it is just fantastic. So maybe I'll read pieces from it, but we can work on the 40 Days of Gratitude starting in July together. And and then when we're done with that, maybe we can read the Simple Abundance book, and we can read it together as a group for those of you that want to do it. I think that would be just a way for me to keep the gratitude alive and not lose that, And then for November, like I did last year, since, it's the month of gratitude and being thankful, I think that I will do something really special for that this year. So I don't know, maybe every day I'll have a different gratitude assignment that I come up with over here that we all do together or something. But I just wanted to say that, and I know this has been kind of long getting into this, but I can never talk enough about gratitude. Gratitude has literally changed my life. It has literally changed my life, especially when I'm going through hard times, or, I'm just I'm lacking motivation, or I just am because I have those days where I wake up and I'm just I don't want to do anything today, Gratitude gets me out of that with quickness. When if I go right to a gratitude list and I have all these things, it's be grateful for what you've been given. Be grateful that you've been given another day to experience life, and whatever that means. So, I'm sorry that you're lacking motivation today, Peter. Get your butt out of bed and go experience this day that you've been given that some people out there do not have today, And so gratitude just constantly works for me in my life. Anyway, all right, let's get into A Year of Positive Thinking by Cindy Spiegel. Today is June 3rd. Where are we at? Okay, here we are. Oh, it's a long one. Oh, I don't have my reading glasses. Okay, June 3rd. The Old Farmer. It's really long. There was once an old farmer who had worked his crops for many years. One day, his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit. Such bad luck, they said sympathetically. Maybe, the farmer replied. The next morning, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 other wild horses. How wonderful, the neighbors explained. Maybe, replied the old man. The following day, his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses, was thrown and broke his leg. The neighbors came again to offer their sympathy on his misfortune. Maybe, answered the farmer. The day after, military officials came to the village to draft young men. I feel like I've read this before. The day after, military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army. Seeing that the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. The neighbor congratulated the farmer on how well things had turned out. Maybe, said the farmer. The Taoist story teaches us that fortune and misfortune are always a mother of perspective. Do you automatically see your circumstances as fortunate or unfortunate, or are you, like the farmer, willing to wait and see? What an amazing meditation, especially on the heels of talking about gratitude. I love that so much. Because life is so much perspective, isn't it? And it's really like how, okay, so I used to have friends of mine, that would like have to go to court for like DUIs and stuff like that. And they'd say, well, how do you think it's going to go? And I'm like, a lot of it has to do with what the judge's coffee was like this morning. And it's really true, I think how we respond or react to the world has so much to do with like how we're feeling that day, and our perspective. I have learned in my life that talking about myself in third person, Peter being reactionary doesn't work real well, For me to get all up in arms about something or whatever, it's just like that which is passion, okay? I am a passionate person. But what I've realized is that to pull it in a little bit, to sit back and kind of observe and watch a situation and then respond to it is so much better for me than to just react immediately. Like that reactionary kind of stuff, that doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work at all, And so this is a great meditation for me. I'm just sitting here and I'm like in my head thinking, because I just filmed another video on this camera and memory card. I'm like, did I just delete the previous video? Well, if I did, I'll have to redo it. But anyway, okay, that was a great meditation. I loved that. I love stories anyway. Let's get into the Melody Beatty Journey to the Heart. Let's see what it says for June 3rd today. Oh, I went right to it. June 3rd. June 3rd. Transcend your judgments. Not judging people is really a practical issue, a friend explained. Everybody does something they can be judged for. If we start judging, we'll spend all our time doing that. My friend was right. But not judging is more than a practical matter. It is a spiritual issue as well. I used to spend a lot of time judging other people. I used to think the world was divided into right and wrong. I thought judging others would help me stay clear on the difference. I thought judging was my job. Now, I've learned something new about judgments and about myself. Judging others is what I do when I feel afraid, insecure, and limited. Judging others is something I do when I am afraid to love, when I can't accept love because I can't accept myself. And most important, I've learned that judging others is not my job. When I judge others, I judge myself. Yes, there are issues we need to work on. Many of us have quirks we may live with most or all of our lives, but judging doesn't help. Judgments limit us. Judgments condemn. They say, my past is not as it should be. I'm wrong. My life is wrong. Judgments put us in prison no matter where we are. No matter where we are. Judgments come from the head. Freedom and love come from the heart. Transcending judgments will set you free. Learn to look at yourself in love, who you are, where you've been. Learn to look at others with love too. When we accept others with freedom and love, we accept ourselves. Judgments put up barriers. Transcend your judgments and you'll be free. It's always interesting when meditations like this come up, knowing that one of my other channels is a drama channel where I'm talking about, people and their problematic behavior. I try, and I've really tried on that channel in the last couple years, to really do everything from a point of love and and I do, and I say this on a regular basis over there, that I want for everybody else what I want for myself, And that has been one of the greatest lessons in my life, is to want for myself or want for others what I want for myself. I think there's all a time when we're driving around in a car with our friends, and we're passing judgment on other people or gossiping. We all do that. Let's just be for real, okay? I mean, I think to be human is part of that. If you're somebody out there that doesn't do that, props to you, because I think it's hard, What I have really worked on in the last couple years is unfair judgment, okay? When people make comments and I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't like that comment if that person was standing. I would defend them if they were standing here, right? So I then have to do that inside, if I'm sitting with just one other person and somebody makes a comment that I don't think is fair either, that I'll say, I don't really care for that. I also realized one thing too, is that the less, and I'm not talking about on that channel, I'm talking about with my friends and people that I know. The less I sit there and, because there have been periods in my life where I've been highly judgmental. I'm sure you could probably guess that, right? And during those times, what it was, like I said before, me pointing the finger and wanting to tell on somebody. Look at this person. Let me tell you about this person. Let me tell you about that person. And all of that was deflection over me having to work on myself. I would rather spend that time today working on myself. I'm going to get more out of it in the long run, right? But you know what? One of the things I've really realized is I feel a lot better about myself when I'm not like judging people and talking about people and whatever. I leave conversations feeling better, you know? And that was kind of a process that took a long time where I kind of like, the battery died. But it gave me a chance to go look and see if I had deleted my previous video, which I didn't. So I'm very, very happy about that. But anyway, I don't even know where I was at now in the video talking about judgment. No, you know, like one of the things that happened over time was that, and I'm not a perfect example of this, obviously. I'm not going to say that I don't ever talk about people or whatever, you know. But what I realized over time was that I started feeling better when I left conversations, when I wasn't riddled with, let me tell you about this person and let me tell you about that person. Now, I will say this. We all have the need to want to tell on somebody and feel validated or justified, you know, in what happened. And I think that that's important. And I think that's why we have close friends. And I think that there's a difference between talking to a close friend and saying, I feel really wronged in this way, and talking to everybody about saying, I feel really wronged in this way. There's a huge difference between that, you know? So anyway, I don't know. I think it's something that I have learned that I would rather spend my time focusing on who am I than spending my time focused on who are they, you know? And when I am spending my time focused on who are they, it's like I said, it's deflection that I am like taking off of working on myself. I've only got one life, right? And this is a lesson that continues to repeat itself in my life. So I'm going to continue to learn this over time, is that I would rather focus on myself. I only have one life. I want to spend that time focused on myself being the best version of myself that I can possibly be, you know? And that means me getting up every single day and attending the school of my life and learning those lessons that are meant for me. I can't fix somebody else, you know? I can judge them all I want. I can talk about them all I want, blah, blah, blah. But I can't fix them. I can't change them. You know, it's one of the things that's like, you know, it's one of the things I learned when I first got sober, is that I'm powerless over other people as well. I can't change other people, places, and things. I can only change myself, right? It's a very simple lesson to learn, you know, but sometimes it takes a long time to learn these lessons. But anyway, these were great meditations today. I really like these meditations. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.